What's up, everybody? Once again, my name is Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play Hyrule Warriors Legends. In the last episode, we took on the third Linkle's Tale mission, which was Powers Collide. And in this episode, well, we're going to move right along and take on the fourth mission, Her True Self. Now, there's only 5 total missions, so things should start to get interesting. Let's, of course, pick our weapons, and then we need to pick our fairy. We'll go with Amy this time. And now we'll be on our way.
Now that Link had acquired the Master Sword, he and his companions began readying themselves for the coming war with Sia. It was during this time that Princess Zelda sensed an ominous presence. A dark magic, its source unknown, began to flow across the land and devour everything it touched. If the flow of magic was not quickly stemmed, all light would soon be gone from the world. Believing the Palace of Twilight to be the source of this devastation, Zelda set out on her own to stop it. Midna soon noticed that the princess was gone. She rushed after Zelda toward the palace. Along the way, Midna came upon Linkle, who seemed to be utterly transfixed by an object she had found. It was a black crystal, and Midna was mesmerized by it as well. She touched the crystal. In the blink of an eye, Midna transformed from a tiny creature into a beautiful woman. The powerful magic inside the crystal had returned Midna to her true form. Linkle was left speechless, which was just as well. There was no time to talk about Midna's amazing transformation. Midna had only one thing on her mind: to rescue Zelda. She recruited Linkle to join her mission. Together, they would enter the Palace of Twilight.
Alright, so we're back at the Palace of Twilight with Linkle and Twilight Midna. You know, Midna in her true form. Now, I gotta say, I did get a chance to play as Midna in her true form back on the Wii U version of this game, and she was a ton of fun. So I'm actually looking forward to playing as both Linkle and Twilight Midna. And trust me, you will want to play as both of these characters in this mission, since there's a lot of objectives spread across the map that you do want to take care of, and thankfully the game does send Twilight Midna off in one direction and allow you to go in the opposite direction. That way, you know, when the time comes, you can very easily just like swap between the two characters, and they'll be on like either side of the map. That way you can conquer all the objectives that you need to. Now, I do want to apologize for the delay in videos. Some stuff came up last week that sort of was a little more important than making videos, so it cut into my time. Like, it was mainly doing work on filing my taxes, because obviously those are due like April 18th or whatever, and I had not filed yet, so I had to get everything together. That way I could, you know, take them to a tax person, file those, and get all that jazz out of the way. And being that, like, I'm self-employed because I do YouTube full-time, there's a lot of extra work that goes into filing my taxes, so I pretty much had to go through, like, all of my purchases for the past year, tally up pretty much everything and figure out what I could and couldn't write off as business expenses. That way I could bring it to the tax guy and, you know, fill out all those forms and get all that sent away. And sadly, I did not get lucky. I actually do owe the government some money in taxes, so I do have to pay that, which was unfortunate, but I mean, that's what happened to me last year as well, so I kind of figured it would happen again this year, but overall, still wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, so that's pretty good. That's mainly why, like, I wasn't able to do, 2 videos, like, every single day last week, just because I was so busy working on getting all that information together. Like, it's a lot harder than you would expect to go through an entire year's worth of, like, purchases and figure out, you know, the total, like, your income, what you spend on stuff, what you can write off, and all that jazz. So it took a lot of time. It took me actually all 3 of those days that week that I didn't upload 2 videos in order to get all that information tallied up and put together in a decent, orderly fashion. That way, you know, I didn't drive my tax guy crazy. So that's sort of the reason why that happened. But hopefully now that that is out of the way, we can go back to doing 2 videos every day and finishing up Hyrule Warriors Legends. Like, at least the exclusive content we are gonna have like more new content coming out towards the end of April, so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm actually probably gonna start pre-recording that like after I finish getting through all these Hyrule Warrior Legends videos. That way, you know, when the time comes, those videos are just ready to go and I really won't need to worry about them whatsoever. So get excited for that, guys. Like, I do have a lot of new content planned for the channel, like, throughout the rest of the year, so hopefully I can pull it all off, and I think you guys will enjoy it. Oh, I did not want to do that. Well, that was a waste of my special move. I wanted to actually activate that bird statue, not, you know, use my special attack, but not a big deal. Like, that really is not going to have a huge impact on the rest of this mission. I want to give you guys an update, though. So, I believe on, like, the second video of this series, I said that I applied for, you know, E3 this year. Now, they were supposed to contact me last Monday, I believe, either confirming or denying my registration. I have not heard from them just yet, which isn't good news, but it's also not really bad news, because no matter what, I should get an email from them. So, I'm assuming they're still, like, taking their time going over every single registration, and they just haven't gotten to mine yet in order to confirm or deny my registration for E3. However, in the time between, like, you know, registering for E3 and creating this video, I did apply for a media badge to PAX East. Now, I had, like, no intention of going to PAX this year. I've been there, you know, for the past, I think, 5 PAXs, and I wasn't really planning on going this year, but I found out a couple of my friends were going, and I was like, you know what? I'll apply for a media badge and see what happens. So a couple of days go by and I get an email saying that I did get approved for a PAX East 2016 media badge. So I will be going to PAX East this year as media, which is kind of cool because it does give me the opportunity to, you know, get interviews with some of the people who are exhibiting there. So I might go ahead and do that and then post some of those interviews to my channel because I think that would be really cool. Like, a lot of cool people exhibit at PAX. Like, sure, there's the big developers like Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, but there's also a ton of cool, like, indie studios, and I think getting interviews with those guys would be pretty awesome. I'm also going to try and reach out to my rep at Nintendo of America and see if maybe I can get an interview with someone who at least represents the company, because getting an interview with someone who works, like, for Nintendo would be really, really awesome. Like, I have no idea what I would ask them, but I'm sure I could poll you guys or, you know, ask Twitter or something like that and get some good questions to ask someone who works at Nintendo. Like, I'm sure there's stuff we're all dying to know about, you know, upcoming releases and stuff like that. So, let me know if that type of content does interest you guys. Anyways, besides that, I really don't have much to say in terms of updates. Like, I'm still working on a bunch of new, exciting content for the channel, like some new series, and I'm pretty much always saying that, I feel like, but, it's just because I haven't really had the time to sit down and fully flesh out every single idea that I have. Like, I have a list of ideas that I've just come up with, you know, throughout the years, and, it's just that I've never gotten around to really fleshing out those ideas and making series out of them. And I think now, if any time, is probably the right time to do it. Like, I'm definitely looking to expand my channel and create new types of content this year more than like any other year in the past, because I feel like I've supplanted myself enough, you know, with all the Let's Plays that I've done, and now I'm ready to sort of start creating like more content. Like, don't get me wrong, Let's Plays will probably always be a part of this channel, but I've always loved making content that is more involved, is more quote-unquote premium style content, you know, like the theory videos or the top 5 videos. I actually do want to start like a news series, like a gaming news series as well. I'm still working on like all the design aspects for that, but that's been something that I've been working on and off for like a couple of weeks now, and I kind of want to get that ready for PAX, because that would be like the time to debut that series, you know, if I get to land some interviews with some really cool developers, you know, at the convention itself. Anyways, I'm going to stop now because I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because these are all like plans and ideas that I have right now, and it takes a lot of like work to go from the planning or idea phase to something that I would actually want to upload to my channel. So yeah, like, I'm saying all these things now as if, like, I might actually one day do it, but, it could just happen that I don't ever get around to creating a series, of anything that I just mentioned. So I don't want to like back myself into a corner and, you know, hype you guys up for content that may or may not happen. But the interviews will probably happen since I am going to PAX as media, and I think I am actually required to make some sort of media content. Like, that's one of the stipulations of getting the media badge. And the new show, I want it to happen like really bad. It's something I've been working on for, like I said, a couple of weeks. So maybe in the future, if I get some free time, I can finish that. But again, like, if it doesn't ever happen, don't go back to this moment and be like, hey, you said you would, because I'm not like making any promises right now whatsoever. Of course, there will be like new Let's Plays throughout the, you know, year coming out on the channel. Like Star Fox Zero is coming out very, very soon, and I did get that from Nintendo. So, probably after I finish up all these Hyrule Warriors Legends videos, I'll go through and like pre-record that entire Let's Play. That way, by the time the game comes out, you know, that will just be done, and I can continue focusing on Skyward Sword, because I don't believe Skyward Sword will be finished by the time that game releases. Like, it comes out end of this month, so we'd maybe be around, you know, 45, 50 parts into Skyward Sword at that point, maybe. So yeah, I don't think we would be done with that game just yet. Like, we are ahead of my estimate for Skyward Sword, believe it or not, but I still think it's gonna roughly take around 60, 75 parts, maybe. Like, it might even take 80 parts, not sure, but it should be around that range somewhere. Like, if I had to guess right now, I would say it'd probably take 75 parts at our current rate, but that could change, like, depending on how I make videos in the future, so who actually knows? Anyways, let's focus on the game a little bit. So we got some messengers that we need to escort, and there are a bunch of dark area alphas sort of blocking our path. So let's try and clear these out, and then the messengers can do their thing. Like, thankfully, we've kept control of pretty much all the keeps, so after we defeat a majority of these area alphas, the messengers should be fine on their own. Like, believe it or not, we're actually really close to being done with this mission. Oh, the music actually just changed, so yeah, usually when that happens, it means that you can go and fight the quote-unquote boss of this mission. But before we do that, I would like to take care of at least maybe one or two more of these area alphas, just because I know the messengers will not be able to get past 3 of these guys if I leave them here, although I could very easily just go and take on Twilight Midna, or Dark Twilight Midna rather, and defeat the boss to end the mission, but I'm not sure if I can do that fast enough before these messengers die. But they should be able to take care of that one last area alpha, so yeah, we're good. Like, we have more important things to take care of, like, you know, fighting Dark Twilight Midna. Now, I could just, like, very easily swap over to Midna and then, you know, fight the boss as Midna, which probably would make it a lot easier, since Twilight Midna is very, very good at fighting bosses, like I previously said, but I feel like that's kind of wrong. You know, this is Linkle's tale, so I kind of want to play as Linkle as much as I possibly can and use her to take out all the quote-unquote bosses of these missions. So yeah, we'll go for it. Although, I will admit, Dark Twilight Midna does have a lot of HP and can deal a lot of damage, but you know, we got our special moves, so we're gonna be fine. We're just gonna start chunking her down as quick as we possibly can. It's actually kind of funny, because here's the thing, like, there's a lot of strategy in these boss fights when you're at a lower level, since, like, you need to sort of, you know, watch the characters, wait for them to telegraph their moves, and sort of dodge them, and try and, like, whittle down the weak point gauge and then take them out that way. But since I am, like, higher level and I have, like, the badges that allow you to deal damage even if characters are guarding and stuff like that, really the boss fights for me have just become, like, brute forcing them down to literally no HP. Like, I have no care in the world for, you know, waiting for them to attack and, like, counter-attacking them. I'd rather just fight them face on, spam buttons, and win that way, because, I mean, it works. Like, why would I approach it from a harder method, if you will, if I can just literally do these same attacks over and over again and win no matter what? Like, I feel like you reach a certain point in this game that's basically the tipping point. Like, there's that point where you just become so strong that, like, there is no strategy involved in, like, winning no matter what. And I'm sort of at that point right now, because I'll admit, there is no strategy in what I'm doing. I'm literally just spamming any attacks, like, without hesitation, and I'm kind of okay with that, not gonna lie. Anyways, this might finish her off. Let's see. Come on, please. Oh, so close. Whatever. She's low enough to the point now where we can just finish her off ourselves. No problemo. And just like that, Dark Midna has been defeated. And, yeah, that wraps up this mission. So, pretty short one. Still pretty fun, though. Like, I like the ability to swap between Linkle and Twilight Midna because they're both really fun, really strong characters to play as. So, I don't know, this might be like one of my favorite missions of Linkle's Tale just because of that reason alone. Also, I'm pretty sure we do get a cutscene like after this mission is over, so look forward to that, guys. But another mission has been completed.
Midna and Linkle made it to the Palace of Twilight to rescue Zelda and stop the evil magic. Yet though the battle was won, the Twilight magic continued devouring everything around it. It was then that Midna made a bold decision. She would smash the crystal they had found in the palace. In doing so, perhaps she could release enough energy to contain the dark magic. This plan was not without its consequences, as Midna would return to her cursed self. Despite the cost, Midna decided without hesitation, knowing that she must save Zelda. Midna's resolve deeply inspired Linkle. With renewed fire, Linkle hurried to Hyrule Castle.
Alright, will we ever make it to Hyrule Castle? Will we find out if we're the true hero? Will we indeed save the world? I guess you'll have to find out on the next episode of Hyrule Warriors Legends Linkle's Tale, because that's going to do it, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.